Hi everyone, I'm GREYMOND. Another type of acceptance in OCD recovery than we talked about yesterday is acceptance of the facts as they truly are. And a lot of the times OCD can get stuck on this, where something, say, from the past, somebody did something to you in the past and you can't accept it, or you did something and you can't accept it, or a certain situation happened and you can't accept it, and you're obsessing and kind of spinning it more and more, and it becomes an OCD theme. So with that, you have to accept the facts as they are. How do you do that? Just like everything else, it's brain training. Every day, constantly throughout the day, you're saying to yourself, I accept things. So that situation, I accept it as it was in full. I'm not digging, I'm not analyzing, I just accept it. So that heavy burden that you were carrying, that rock that you were carrying on your back all this time, you're just putting it down. And when you put it down, it's still there, and you accept it as being there, but you're no longer carrying it. You're no longer touching it. It's just there, and that's okay. And you're moving on with life. And soon enough, you'll forget about it even sitting there. It just becomes part of outside environment, not related to you anymore. And if there's additional feelings that you need to go through of forgiveness of yourself, forgiveness of others, then you're including that in that as well, where you're saying, I'm choosing to accept, I'm choosing to forgive, and I'm choosing to move on. So you're always making that choice to leave it, not to focus your attention on it anymore. And I find that with people with OCD, there's all of these OCD kind of make-believe fears. But sometimes a person can get stuck on a real thing. And just a side note that if you get stuck on a real thing, because people with false memory right now are thinking, is it me? Am I stuck on the real thing? No, you are not. If you were stuck on the real thing, this would not be, what if it happened? What if this is true? What if that is true? It's not like that. It's kind of like if I ask you, what did you have for breakfast this morning? You're not questioning it. This is what we're talking about. Actual, for real situations. And a lot of the time, again, this relates a lot to other people, where other people have wronged you and you can't move on, and it kind of creates this block. So acceptance also works in this way, where you, again, accept in full. And I would say, as a little trick to this, try to put that note that I accept things in full everywhere where you're going to see it. So put it as a screensaver or whatever, or screen background on your phone. Put it as a notification that pops up on your phone. Put it as a note. It doesn't, somewhere, just like a sticky note. It doesn't even have to say it, kind of like if you put it as a sticky note somewhere. It doesn't even have to say it in words, but in the way that you can understand, like in code. That's okay as well. But make sure that you're always immersed in that kind of energy of moving on, accepting, forgiveness, leaving the situation, and not spinning it, not getting into the details, but just saying generally, this whole big ball that I was carrying, I'm letting go of that. I'm moving on. I accept it. And day after day, just like with OCD recovery in other areas with other themes, your brain adjusts to how you are training it. So whatever you say after a while sinks in and becomes the new normal of how the brain is handling this information. So if you manually do this day after day, after a while, the brain will kick in and start to do this on autopilot. Just like it happened when you got into OCD, right? Now we're getting out of all this. And this is kind of, a lot of the times, this is also parallel to OCD, where maybe this is not to the point where you're obsessing about it on an OCD level, but, you still kind of hold a grudge, get into these situations where you are not living your full life because this person or that situation. And why would you do that, right? You need to be living a full life when it comes to OCD recovery and otherwise as well, because people with OCD tend to be very, very sensitive people, and the whole situation of being sensitive, little things affect them and they hold on to them, and you don't need to hold on to them. You can just put it down, accept it, forgive it, and leave it. I hope you find my videos helpful. Thank you so much for listening. If you would like to subscribe, I would welcome you here. And if you would like to do my recovery program one-on-one with me, all the information is on youhaveocd.com. Thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.